Don't you hate it when your favorite game gets an update and then it changes into what can only be called a quick cash grab? That is exactly what happened to Mincheol, the protagonist of Bad Ending Maker. Only for him it was even more personal than just being his favorite game. Because Mincheol's game, Wings Online, is going to be ruined for the sake of profit. But the new general director has forgotten one thing. Mincheol knows every nook and cranny of his own virtual world. Together with his trusty AI sidekick Oasis, will Mincheol be able to enact his revenge and create a bad ending for Wings Online Season 6 update? Yes, Mincheol seems to be the person who gave birth to this online game. To him it is basically like his own child is getting turned into something he hates. Looking at the art style of this promotional picture, we can look forward to good content art quality wise. The actual content of the story, the plot, is yet to be seen. I assume the character we see is Mincheol, and he reminds me of some anime character. I just cannot put my finger on who exactly. The premise for Bad Ending Maker is something I have not seen before, but if we have to go down the base concept, it sounds like a sort of revenge story. Personally, I hope it will not be an edgy story, however, the only way for us to find out is to read it. Like always, I left a link to the webtoon in the description, but now let's get into my first impression. The first thing I noticed when getting into chapter 1 was that the art style is actually very pretty as well, so it wasn't just a promotional picture. The world of Bad Ending Maker is quite a bit in the future, after all the people already accepted AI and made them work as assistants or similar things in the workforce. Compared to our world, the artificial intelligence in this story is much more advanced, obviously. They basically look and act like a human. One aspect of this webtoon I'm very interested in is the development perspective. I really hope it goes into more detail on what a game developer goes through and what they may hide inside of games. If the author works together with real people who worked or are still working in that position, it would make the story a whole lot more unique. Now to the actual game. Wings Online sounds pretty generic for a game title in my opinion, but hey, if it works, it's whatever. The name is not the thing that will make a game popular. After all, gameplay is king, especially for an MMORPG. There are way more important things than the name. The deeper we go into the story of Bad Ending Maker, we realize that the AIs also have personalities and feelings. So the big question is, what separates them from a human? What I am asking is, are there laws against the AI, Batman? It is wonderful to get surprised by stories, but I really didn't expect real jabs aimed at executives of companies, because apparently the stock prices of the company behind Wings Online is falling, after the game has been running pretty well for the last 5 years. It's easy to understand that after some time people lose interest in a game, be it because another more interesting game released or they just didn't want to play anymore, or maybe it's just that the content is getting stale or running out. There are a lot of reasons why the player base could get less interested. So to push the stock price one last time, the higher ups of the company decided to add in-game purchases with real money, and when the stock peaks, they will sell them all and let the burning ship sink. Not only would such an update result in a massive shitstorm on the internet in my opinion, but the protagonist of this story also hates it personally. Like I said before, this game is like his baby, as he is the main or maybe even only developer, and like a good human, he also has integrity. With that being said, the main character threatens to destroy the entire game if they actually go through with this update. I think it is a very cool idea that with the assistance of highly advanced AIs and also the continuous evolution of development methods, people can make the code of huge games like VRMMORPGs even by themselves, well, together with AI. However, you still need artists for the visuals and the music. I don't think AI is going to be allowed to do that. The progression of the first chapter is very nice, and it creates the perfect start for a revenge story. We have a motive for the protagonist, we have a hateable antagonist, and we have the reader's interest on seeing how this all will turn out. Or, well, at least my attention and interest. I can only recommend it so far. Probably one, if not the most solid first chapters I have read in a while on Webtoon. However, we also have to make something clear here. I think the antagonist might be smart, but his decision to fire the protagonist was just plain stupid. He literally said he would destroy the game and bring down the company together with him if they decided to really do the in-game purchase update. And then they fire him? I don't know about that. Maybe our antagonist just thought that Mr. Developer would have no way to actually achieve that goal of destruction, and so he just went with the decision anyways. No matter how many stories I read, I still sometimes misunderstand things happening in webtoons. This time, for some reason, I thought Gaia and the AI mentioned in the description are the same, but that's obviously wrong. They don't even have the same name. Because now, towards the end of chapter 2, we get introduced to Oasis, a very supportive friend, or, well, AI, and she's also the one from the description. Oasis has a very cutesy personality. She might work well as a comedy relief character. I just hope she won't turn out to be annoying in the future. It's because, sometimes joke characters can just go a bit too far. This character dynamic works very well though. The naive and unknowing Oasis and the blunt revenge-seeking Mincheol. Quite powerful to create a strong story. And having an AI be naive and not know a lot about the world is quite interesting, because normally you would think that AIs are incredibly smart. But what's actually funny is when the AI is the one with more humane traits. I mean, that makes you worry about the protagonist, in a good way in my opinion. These chapters really fly by. There are quite a lot of things happening, but following a person who lost what they loved is quite entertaining. Always. I also am very interested in what the plan of the main character will be. Yes, he wants to destroy Wings Online. But how exactly will he do it? And how is arson going to help in this scenario? Well, let's continue reading and find out. Seeing as Oasis' personality is very innocent and adorable, I fear her getting corrupted by all the evil deeds Mincheol will do in the game. I kind of want her to remain the cinnamon bun she is right now, to contrast the protagonist and everything. As you can hear, she already grew on me and is currently my favorite character in Bad Ending Maker. I said this in another first impression. I really love it when a webtoon or just a story in general has a serious tone but also comedic elements to lighten it all up. Bad Ending Maker has incredibly cool moments, but its meme potential is also off the charts. Back to my first impression. Just like Oasis, I expected this whole plan to lead the MC to a seriously broken class, and it does seem strong. However, the main reason Mincheol picked this class was because no other player found it in the 5 years of this game's existence. So, understandable from a developer's perspective, I guess. But seriously, I don't understand how a story can be both so evil and yet so wholesome at the same time. It's just perfect. This is exactly how I want my evil main characters to be. Not just being edgy for the sake of being edgy, but he has motives, he knows why he's doing things, and he's not just evil, he also has his sweet moments. Strategic thinking and MMORPG party balance. I literally cannot stop praising this webtoon for some reason. There are just so many good things. The concept of the class the protagonist went for is very interesting, not something I have seen so far either. Obviously, some players want to go down an evil path, and this class is the perfect fit for that. I do wonder though, what class will Oasis play? A healer is my best bet at the moment. It feels good in general, and it just synergizes very well with Mincheol's class. As we go on, we also get some very subtle world building, like a character talking about the 4 corners of the earth. So maybe the world of Wings Online is actually flat, because otherwise we wouldn't have 4 corners, right? One thing is for sure, this webtoon is a gem in my book personally. I highly recommend it to you, the you who is still watching. The main character for sure has his priorities straight. I won't explain what I mean with this, but it is in episode 4, and you will understand it as soon as it happens. Let me tell you about a little theory I have right now. Judging from what a character from the faction the main character joined said, there is a lot of stuff going on in the background of the story as well. And my best guess is that Gaia, the AI he started creating the game with, did not actually betray him. The whole thing about being programmed to work for the company might have been a fake out attempt. My guess is that she is actually still working in the shadows to help the protagonist in achieving his goals. But enough theories, back to chapter talk. Getting introduced to a character the protagonist knows in real life. Now that is something I did not expect was going to be a part of this revenge story against a big company. I just thought there was no part for real life acquaintances. This just goes to show you that every decision in life can be an important one. However, this also creates the question if we will get parts outside of the game. After all, the company Mincheol worked for did say they are going to sue him. First, we get a backflash on how that guy and the main character met. But the question still stands if we will get scenes in real life in the present and not just in the past. The shift in atmosphere is just godly, simply godly. The artist is doing a great job at portraying how it appears to people in the world, which makes it even easier to tell what is going on for readers, even the most stupid readers. And I might be one of these idiot readers. The nickname the protagonist gave his in-game character is Finbo, but until it was explained in the story, I had no idea about what it really meant. Tell me your best guesses in the comments if you haven't read Bad Ending Maker yet, because I don't know if I have to feel stupid for that one. All I will say is that the main character is a really smart guy. Yes, he wants revenge, but in the end he is still a slightly cringe nerd like all of us, I guess. And I mean that in the best way possible, so no offense taken. I will 100% continue following this story. After all, now I need to see how the protagonist will turn into a villain. He still loves the game, so there might be an internal conflict incoming as well. Maybe there can be a good ending in Bad Ending Maker. Who knows, we could get a story where he gains ownership of the game back, and all the people that betrayed him in the company get sued instead of him. But hey, even if this will be a fully fleshed out revenge story, I will read it until the very end, because I think Bad Ending Maker has been the strongest webtoon I have read this year. One thing I am still thinking about is whether there are other AIs playing the game as a player just like Oasis, or if she is a special case because she is an AI from the protagonist. Also, seeing her play the game by herself is just way too cute, pure sugar. However, one thing is for sure. All the sugar produced by Oasis just means that something terribly bad is going to happen because of the protagonist. In a short while, I guess. However, what that is, you will have to find out yourself in the future. Because we are now entering my ranking section. If you have been listening well, you might have noticed that I really enjoyed the webtoon Bad Ending Maker. The characters are insanely entertaining, the story is intriguing, and the game mechanics are all well thought out so far. With all that being said, on a scale from F to SSS, I will give Bad Ending Maker an SS+. This very well might be the highest ranking in 2024, and we are only in February so far. This high ranking could also potentially mean that you will get more videos about Bad Ending Maker as the story progresses. However, for now, that is all from me for today. I hope you will enjoy this webtoon just as much as I do. But if you want to hear my first impression for another great webtoon, you have to watch this video. See you over there. Pyro out. Bye!